I think that a lot of kids have diamond inside and they don't know what is the diamond. They are not aware of it. Some kids, before we teach them how to shine the diamond, maybe we
Yeah.
need to teach them to find the diamond. So we have the chance to
Yeah.
discuss it, to analyze it, and talk to them about it. Hello, everyone. This is Tomer Camille. I'm a sport therapist, and you are watching SEL podcast, Jumping Forward. Today we have a special guest, Jake Czuper. Hey, Jake, how are you?
Great to be here, Tomer. Thank you for all that you do. Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to talk to you because we have something in common. We both combine our SEL program with something that we love and we do. So I combined my program with sports because I like sports and was a basketball player. I played college basketball, and you combine it with music.
Yeah.
So I want to hear about that. I want to hear about your background in music and how did you came up with the idea to combine it with SEL?
Yeah. Thank you. It's a great question. So I've always played ever since the fifth grade. I've been playing guitar, writing music, just having fun with music. I've loved music. And as I got older, I've always felt like I'm a teacher. That's been my calling ever since a little boy. I felt like I'm here to teach. My mother is a teacher, so I'm going in my mother's ways.
Wow.
She's a retired public school teacher, and yeah, so
What did she teach?
sorry, what did she teach?
Yes.
She actually taught different grades, but in elementary school. And then now she's actually a kid life coach right now. So she teaches kids social emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you'll want to speak to her one day too. But she's an excellent life coach about helping kids with mindset. And yeah, so that's what she does now.
So it's interesting because my mom was a teacher too. She taught art, and this is what she loved. And after that, she became an art therapist. So it's interesting
Oh,
how we follow our parents.
that is very interesting. I never thought of it, but I guess it's very common.
So I have another question for you. What is social emotional learning? Because I talk to a lot of parents and I read online that a lot of parents don't know exactly what SEL is and they're against it because there is a tendency that maybe some of the SEL programs try to brainwash the kids or try to change them. So how do you see SEL exactly?
Yeah, so I mean, I think when we look at a whole child is that in schools traditionally teach science, they teach math, they teach language, English, social studies. But when we see the whole picture, I think every parent, every educator, we want our kids to be happy.
Right.
And that's the bit we want them to experience life happy. So what SEL, the way I view it is that, we look at a happy kid, they're able to regulate their emotions. They have certain skills that they have. Some kids have them that more naturally than others, but they have, a happy kid. They're able to regulate their emotions. They're able to feel gratitude. They're able to, kind of do certain things within their mind that keeps them happy. So what social emotional learning does is it kind of breaks down happiness skills or ways that people can reach happiness in life. So certain of the skills teach how to have more peace in the life, or how to have more gratitude in the life, or how to, calm down. But overall, that I see it as so important because the CDC recently did a study in America, and they found that they surveyed thousands of students, and they found that the mental health pandemic right now is out of control, that every year it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I've always been bothered by that because we've come so far with medicine. We've come so far with technology. So you would think, we must be people must be the happiest levels ever. And what we're finding is that we go so far in one way, but when it comes to mental health, when it comes to social, emotional, how people are feeling, it's going downhill more and more every year, to the point where I saw in newspaper articles saying that the emergency rooms in America can't deal with it. So many kids are being going to emergency rooms with mental health problems. They're not equipped to deal with the amount of numbers. And the CDC survey found 1 in 3 kids in the survey were facing mental health disorders,
Wow.
and 20% had thought about suicide, 10% have even tried suicide. So there's something going on wrong that's throughout society, but especially with the youth, they're already finding that there's more to life than just knowing what's traditionally taught in school, like math and science, all the English language. It's all very important, but ultimately, the whole picture of a child and of an adult is most important. That people experience happiness and enjoy life. So that's where I feel social emotional learning is so key today, and that's why your podcast and what you're doing with sports therapy and what I'm doing, it's so key, because there has to be, right now I find that the educators are saying we're not therapists, so we can't help the kids. So principals say we need more mental health therapists. The therapists are saying we're not educators, we're not meant to teach, we're meant to just help kids when they're in crisis. We will give them therapy. So this is where I come in, and what you're doing is there anything we could do to try to be proactive and get and work to hopefully have less and less kids go into crisis mode? And that's really why I started my organization. I know that's why you're doing your organization, but that's where social emotional learning comes in, is to try to teach kids the skills, the happiness skills, so they can experience life, and ultimately success is being happy and doing what's meaningful. And so that's how I view social emotional.
So you mentioned earlier that the need of SEL is increasing. So you talked about the technology, and what is another reason that you think that can cause it?
Yeah, I mean, I think just 2024, the challenges students have nowadays, just there's the computers, there's being the social media, there's the pressure that like when I went to school, there was something called AP courses, advanced courses, where students who want to get college credit in high school,
Yeah.
only the top kids in the school were pushed to go there. So I was busy playing basketball and music. I didn't want to be in the classes. No one ever put any pressure to me on that. Then I taught high school a few years back, around 10 years ago, and I was helping students choose their courses. I was a grade dean, and everyone saying I need to take AP. I say, what? I said, I didn't take AP. You don't have to take it. They said, no, the pressure. My friends say I have to get into the top college. So there's many factors, I think, but some of it is just that the kids feel so much pressure in school that they have to reach such high that they're almost not allowed to be kids anymore. Like they used to be, people come home after school, they play basketball, they play music, they have fun with their friends. Now a lot of kids say, oh, I have to do homework, I have to be thinking about college, I need to take this and that. So it's almost robbing them of their childhood. So I think that's one level. Another is that screen time, it's found that it's not good for the mind to be too much on screens, and just being outdoor. There's certain things that the scientists find is that kind of common natural things that people used to do all the time, like being outdoors, sunlight, taking a walk in the woods, hanging out, connecting, not through screens, but socially connecting. All these things they find, neuroscientists are finding, are very good for the brain. And if you're just on screens too much and you're not actually socially connecting, it could deteriorate a person's brain. And so I think it's many factors, but what my goal, and I know what you're trying to do, is we have to figure out what works, and we have to teach it to kids and be proactive. And that's my mission. And thank you for being here with me.
I think I told you earlier when we just met that last week I went with my daughter to play outside, and I saw there like 5, 6 kids, maybe in elementary school. And instead of playing tag or basketball or something, you just sat on the bench and they were playing on the phone. So when you see those kids and when they're outside, they don't even communicate with themselves. Everyone was on the cell phone, and then you can see that they have lack of communication skills, they have lack of social skills, and this is something that you need everywhere. You need it when you go to work, you need it when you go to college, when you are with your family, everywhere. And
Yeah,
this is why another reason that I think we need SEL.
yeah, and I think it starts though with the parents and with the education, because it used to be common to have a meal together with your children. You catch up, how was your day? You have a discussion, you communicate. Nowadays, lots of people are so busy or they're on their phones. So yeah, it's definitely a problem that we definitely have to have limits on our technology. Technology is great, but it's like fire. It could be used for good, but it could be used too much. It's not good. So.
This is a great example that you gave when we have dinner. So when we have dinner, this is the chance to talk to each other and share how was our day. And when the kids see that the parents are on the phone during dinners, so, they see that the role model do it, so they can think to themselves, okay, why wouldn't I do it? Because, it's normal, because if they're on the phone, so I can be on the phone when I eat with my friend, maybe I can be on the phone when my teacher talks during class. So this is another thing that I keep saying, that we as parents are role model, and it's more important to what we do than what we say, because our kids see us and usually they will do the same thing. So we cannot expect our kids not to be on the phone if we are on the phone all the time.
It's a good point. Yep, the kids are so smart, so they pick up. They more than what we say, they know. Yep, and your example of us both going in the ways of our parents, right? We picked professions we didn't necessarily know, but we saw they modeled being good role model and making such a meaningful impact that's how we chose. So it's so important. People don't realize how much of an impact they can have on just their direct family when it comes to mental health, because that's one of the missions that I have, is to just, when we promote it, people don't realize how, you don't have to be a mental health expert and go be a PhD to teach children how to choose happy choices of, how to communicate, so it has to be a team effort. It can't just be, oh, it's for mental health and for this. It's like everyone, we have to come together. We have to figure out what works, what's healthy. And just like a doctor, when it comes to right foods to eat, this is the right choices to make with technology and through, modeling behavior. So it's very important. Yeah.
Okay, great. So what have you noticed that the students enjoy the most? If there is something that you have a special drill that you do, or something that you do in every session, and something that you see that most of the kids enjoy.
Yeah, so I have a book that I came out with. I'm an author, a kids author. It's called Shine Your Diamond. And that's the basis of my program. I'm an author, but I also have a musical way of presenting the book in my program. But the idea behind the book is based upon some mental health experts that I have been inspired by, is that the idea is that every kid has a diamond within them, as a metaphor, that they realize that they have something special within them. That there was there's a Dr. Tversky. He was a famous health expert, mental health expert in addiction. And he basically had tens of thousands of patients. And he said that he didn't meet one patient that had an addiction that didn't have something, that they had a low self-esteem. They had a false image of themselves. They looked very negative upon themselves. And so he often spoke about this idea, is that everyone has to realize that they have greatness, they have a diamond inside of them. So part of the inspiration came this series this is my first book within the series, but it basically teaches, number one, kids that they have value, they have self-worth, and that's the beginning of the mindset. And then how to shine your diamond, what decisions you can make. And some of the ideas in the book talk about gratitude and being grateful for the blessings in your life, and kindness, and spending time with friends, and spending quality time with family, and other ideas. So that's general messages that I have in my SEL program. And then I put it to music. I have songs for each one of these things. So I have found, and this is what I love about music, is that when you make it interactive, so every song has emotion. One song's called the clapping song. All the kids are clapping to the beat, and we're singing about gratitude. And then we have other songs about never giving up, and it's about jumping up and down and never give up. So the kids are jumping up and down throughout the song, bend down and jump up, never give up. So there's motion, there's movement, there's interactive. So it's a whole experience. So the kids love the experience, they love the music, but then they're getting these important messages that are social emotional learning. They don't even always realize they're learning. And that's what I find the best type of learning, is they're having a blast so much. And then at the end of the day, weeks later, I have teachers coming up to me and students coming up to me saying the kids are talking about they have diamonds inside of them. Even in kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, kids talk about on the playground, oh, I'm shining my diamond. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm grateful right now. So it's just beautiful to see how you could teach it. And then even kids as young as pre-K can understand social emotional concepts and talk about it weeks and months later. And that's really changing their lives, because they're growing up realizing they have greatness, they have a diamond inside of them, and they're realizing, oh, I could learn to shine my diamond. I could learn to choose to find ways to be happy. So that's how I integrate the music with the book and the messages and make it into an experience.
This is great, because it's easier to deliver a message and to guide those students when they have a good time and they enjoy themselves and they trust you, because this is how we build the confidence and trustness. and then it's easier to deliver the message. I think that a lot of kids have diamond inside and they don't know what is the diamond. They are not aware of it. Some kids, before we teach them how to shine the diamond, maybe we
Yeah.
need to teach them to find the diamond. So we have the chance to
Yeah.
discuss it, to analyze it, and talk to them about it.
Yeah, so that's the beginning of the book. The way beginning of the book first talks about the idea that they have the diamond inside, what that means, that everyone has one. And this also gets into, aside from our own happiness, just respect of humanity. If I have a diamond and you have a diamond, it kind of, people view things differently. It's no
Yeah.
longer, we're enemies. It's like, oh, he has something unique about him that's special. I have something, and we could become friends and we can unite. So yeah, the beginning of that, yeah, we have a discussion about what it means, where you have a certain place within you that has peace, that has joy, that has, harmony within you. And yeah, so it's an important part. And that's really the foundation of I was inspired to use this metaphor, because the foundation of mental health, according to some experts, is to realize that you have a place inside you you have self-worth already. You don't have, some kids think if I get 100 on a test, then I have worth. But if I don't go at, it's all related to how their action. But this is when kids realize that just being me, I have worth. Kids realize that they don't have to, it's not just based upon their actions, but there's the idea of unconditional love, of just because you're special, I'm special, and we can respect each other. We don't have to agree on everything, but we can know that you have greatness within you, I have greatness, and we can respect each other. And that, I feel, is a beautiful idea and the foundation of social emotional learning.
Wow, great, great. So, and how many sessions does the program last usually?
So the way I do it is I go from school to school, inspiring the kids, motivating the kids, and teaching the staff about this. But then I have a follow-up workbook that the teachers can then help the students cultivate beyond it. So it's called the Shine Your Diamond Journal. It's a happiness challenge. So on the back, it has a 30-day happiness challenge. And it's basically within 5 minutes, a teacher can set aside. Often kids are anyways practicing how to write in school, even starting in kindergarten, first grade. So they can write, basically, I have like a prompt, I shine my diamond by, and they can draw a picture. And so it says draw or write, let's say, 3 things you are thankful for today. So every day for 30 days, it has a little challenge for the students to do. And they could either draw a picture if they're at the age where a picture is appropriate. And here's just an example where I've had some students, they draw pictures of after they learn the book and have the program. This one's I shine by helping. And this girl over here, and then this one more, just an example. Have a little time per day. It's not just enough to learn it once. We want them to cultivate these skills. Social emotional learning, it takes practice, just like math takes practice, just like English or language. We have to practice it. So that's why the idea of a 30-day challenge gives them a few minutes a day to remember the concept, and then to practice it by journaling or by drawing pictures and discussing it within the class. Because you'd be surprised how you could have the most deep conversations about gratitude, even with a first grade or second grade or kindergarten. They'll raise their hand and they'll say the most beautiful things. I shine my diamond. I love spending time with my grandparents. I'm so happy to be alive, one girl said. And, so it's just amazing to see such little kids, making, learning happiness skills. It's amazing to see.
Sometimes it's easier to work with this age because they're not at the level, at the age that they're afraid what their classmates will say about them, and maybe will make fun of them, and they're not at the age when they surround themselves with walls. So usually, when you work with middle school kids, so it takes time until the walls collapse and they open and they share. So yeah, it's really interesting about the difference.
Yeah, that is interesting. And one of my ideas is there's more work I find with SEL. There's a lot of work being done more in high school and college and older kids. But my idea is that because the mental health, pandemic is so bad, it's almost, why are we waiting till the most popular class right now in Yale's history is about a lot of the students there are depressed and what they can proactively do to find more happiness. why do they have to be 20 years old at Yale to learn this stuff? Most of what Dr. Santos says, who's the teacher there, most of what she says can literally be applied to a pre-K student. So
Yeah.
that's the idea between the Shine Your Diamond Foundation is we take the information that the scientists are saying, science of happiness, but we then leverage education and break it down on a level that kids throughout, younger grades can understand so they can learn the concepts and then cultivate it over time.
And the great thing about music is that maybe if they remember the song, they can keep singing, and the message goes with them over and over again. It's not like something else that you do and then you go to do your own things. A lot of kids, they love music, and they keep singing this song to themselves, and then maybe the parent can ask them, "What are you singing?" and they discuss it again. So
yeah, that's exactly it. And that's why my foundation, we make music, we make videos, and we make products like the books and stuff, because to hope that the kids can get it in different angles and many different ways. They sing the song, they can watch a video with a puppet, talking about gratitude, and then they concert. And so it's a whole experience where they're kind of being bombarded with this positive information in many different ways. So that's the goal.
can you share with us a successful story?
Yeah, so I kind of shared a little earlier with the story of the where teachers come weeks later and they tell me the students are still talking about their diamonds and still on the playground connecting and shining. So that's just, to me, shows that it can be taught at a young age. And yeah, I mean, one story that in my school is one of the concepts we teach is perseverance, is to not give up even when life's not always easy. And this is part of social emotional learning, is everyone at some deal with challenges, and so part of its mindset is like, do you expect there to be challenges? There was this one student, and she sent out a message to a teacher who was sick about it was unbelievable. She sent out a message saying, "You're going to be okay, stay upbeat, roll with it." She used the word roll with it. I saw the message and I was so inspired by it that I went and I wrote a song with her called Roll With It. And then we turned it into a whole thing at the school where the whole school is singing Roll With It. And the girl happens to be in a wheelchair. She has cerebral palsy. And so she is the best example of her message, because she every day rolls with it. Things are not always easy for her, but she is her message is she's always upbeat and she's always rolling with it in life. So that's just the power of music and messages. And the whole school made like a video about it based upon the song that she made. And I'm hoping to work with her to turn it into actually a children's book and have her go around and share her story, because there's nothing most powerful hearing it from a girl like that to inspire the world, because she rolls with it every day, but her mindset and her is unbelievable. So I'm working with her to try to give her the voice to go out and inspire the world, because she's so special.
Yeah, and I can imagine how much it made her happy that you chose her to do the song with you. When finally you had your song, that you can share it with her family, with your friends, and it shows that you trust her, and that
music is able to connect a lot on a deeper level. So it's very special. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is one thing that you do to keep yourself calm when things get challenging?
Yes, that's a great question. So one thing that I personally try to set aside time to do weekly is to spend time walking in the woods. I found out that many cultures, whether it's in Japan, they have different names for it. But through many cultures, they find that they have an idea of going in the woods, and just that the nature, being out in nature, whether it's at the beach or whether it's in the woods or something, of just like getting off screens, just being in nature. That's what I always try to set a time, at least one time a week to do that. So if I just find that it's just, you feel a lot of peace and tranquility when you just are in nature. And then in the moment, I turn to gratitude. If I feel like things are getting tough or a challenge, I try to stop what I'm doing and just to count my blessings, spend a few minutes journaling, or just, affirmations of gratitude, reminding myself. And I feel like that can kind of shift one's attitude if one gets kind of stuck in a negative mode. Gratitude, because what gratitude really does is it makes you focus on the now. Focus on what's right in front of you, because sometimes our minds can get so worried about the future or so worried about the past that we don't realize what to live right now. So that's what's beautiful about gratitude, is it makes you find something right in front of your face and focus on that, which can calm the mind from anxiety or from, thinking about the past too much.
So when we talked about your notebook earlier, so you said that one of the questions that you asked the kids to answer and draw right down was what three things that are you grateful for?
I'm grateful to be alive, that my body's working. I am grateful for music, for having the gift that God gave me, the gift of singing and to play music and to write music. And I'm grateful for family and friends and connecting with people like you. What's amazing with technology is we have so much more opportunity to meet people and network and everything. So there's so much potential there. And that's why, SEL and what we're talking about today is so, I think, so important, because there's so much potential here. And I think SEL is one of the answers, that if people can learn certain happiness skills, and then they can take all the goodness that we have we're living in very wealthy times compared to how kings lived not too long ago, but we need the certain mindset and extra skills to make the most of it and to bring out the potential in each one of us. So that's how I view SEL, and I'm grateful for SEL and for all the science that's coming out showing how important this is, because you were mentioning that some parents, they might just not know what it is exactly, I feel like, but once they realize, I can't understand why a parent wouldn't want their child learning how to be happier and gaining more from life. So
I talked to a lot of SEL coordinators, and I see online a lot of parents that are against it, and I think that there is a tendency of parents against the SEL, and I think, as you said earlier, that the reason is they don't know exactly what SEL is, or maybe there are some programs that use this tool not as the way they should. So I think that this is our mission, to explain and talk about SEL and how it's helpful, and how there are some programs that are relevant to the kids and can assist them and are helpful for them.
okay, yeah, it's so important.
So anything else that you would like to say before we finish?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to piggyback on what you were saying is that teaching SEL can be challenging. So it takes creative ways to figure out how can we give the kids these skills, these happiness skills. So that's why I love what you do with your sports program. And I find that music and other ways, and that's really, I feel like, what brought us together, is that we have to get creative, because it's, even kids, they get bored by math, they get bored by if it's the same thing. So it takes people with, but also it can't just be a pure curriculum. And that's why it's important to have good programs where there's music, where there's sports, where you have something that engages the kids and makes it interactive. Because if it's purely just a curriculum, then that's like a football coach could be the best coach in the world, but if he doesn't have the players to implement the plays, they're not going to be a good team.
Yeah.
So so I feel so happy to have met you and to see the great work you're doing, and I look forward to continuing to hear about your journey. And as we embark to, this is our mission, to really make a difference in the world of youth and beyond. And so it's exciting times, and I feel like we're founding the right educators and the right experts coming through. I really feel it's possible. And that's why I'm so passionate about it every day. Ultimately, I have a feeling, and I'm certain that we can make a difference in the lives of youth.
So I really love what you do, because I think that it's really important that kids that will do what they like and what they love and what they feel what assists them to feel confidence and feel good. And when it doesn't matter, because some kids like art, some kids like sports, some kids like music. So when you try to implement SEL, you try to combine music with SEL, it's great, because a lot of kids feel connected to music and love music and like music, and they look at you differently when you come and we play music and listen to them, and then you write songs with them. Usually a lot of teachers, they have some material to teach, and they don't have time to talk to the kids, and there are so many classmates, so they don't have even the chance to know each of them well. So when you do it by music, it's great.
Yeah, and because I truly believe that each kid is a hero in themselves, and it's our job as educators to bring out the greatness in every kid. And so it's important that we try to find with every kid, because Yeah, I mean, I'll end off, if it's okay, with a story that there was this one chaplain. He would go to prisons and he noticed he loved people and he would give people hugs. He gave, even if they looked scary, it didn't matter. He would say, "You want a hug? I'll give you a." And he noticed one big guy in the prison, gave him a really strong hug. And he gave a lesson to the prisoners. And when he was leaving, the guy raised his hand and said, "Is it okay if I get one more hug?" And the chaplain said, "No problem. I love hugging." He gave the guy a big hug. And the prisoner said, "You know, if I would have gotten hugs growing up, I wouldn't be here today. My parents never hugged me one time in my life. That was the first hug I ever had in my entire life." So
Wow.
that's how I feel like, as educators and as parents, we have to make sure our kids feel love and feel connected to us. And that's because kids, when they feel the love, when they feel that we care, it changes their world. And that story always sticks with me of, we have to go out of our way to try to connect and try to help as many children as possible.
Wow. So was really inspiring. Thank you so much for coming here and talk to us. It was really interesting. And as I said earlier, I really love what you do, and good luck. And you do a great job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you as well. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.